Okay, welcome back, guys, to another Horror Room movie review, and today we have Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. No, that is the wrong one. No.
And this movie was, I don't know. I didn't care much for this one. I thought it had just a lot of pointless scenes and a lot of goofy stuff happened in this. It was kind of bizarre.
The jokes were dumb. I mean, I just don't think anyone, even back then, like a year after this movie, I think the jokes were just dumb then, so...
Yeah, really bad jokes. They tried to do comedy and... It just didn't really work out. However, the movie had a budget of $2 million, or $2,600,000 according to Wikipedia, and it grossed $32 million. So, it definitely made money.
I don't know where that money went. I mean...
Yeah, once again. Where does all this money go? Because it really...
It didn't go to the script.
No.
It didn't go to the director.
The death scenes were very lacking. There was only a few that were pretty cool. And, well, this is 1984.
1984. So you get all the good 1984 fashions of the time. This was one dude that had really great hair. I mean, he had awesome, thick, voluptuous... Like, just poofy hair is perfect. Like, women nowadays would kill for that hair.
And it has Crispin Glover. It's got Corey Feldman in it. Tom Savini does the makeup effects.
If you don't know Glover, he's from movies such as Willard, Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, Back to the Future, River's Edge, I believe, is another movie.
Yeah, if you don't know him, you should.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Probably the most likable character in this damn movie.
Everyone else does suck.
Yeah. So, getting right to it, it starts with more recaps of the previous movies. This one was also meant to be a final chapter, like they call it. It was supposed to be the end.
Yeah. So it's like the recap of the recap.
Yeah, the third one was supposed to be the end, and then this one was supposed to be it. And then I guess after this they said, just screw it, we're just going to keep pumping these things out. But, so we see these police from the end of the third movie. They're collecting evidence. Jason's still dead. He's taken to the morgue. And we meet this guy who works there who's talking about having sex with the dead bodies.
It's like nonchalant, like making a first really bad joke of the movie.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be funny, but it wasn't. It was not a funny joke.
Yeah, it was like the start where you realize, oh god, it's going to be like that.
No, he was just acting dead serious, talking about having sex with one of the dead people. And it's just like, okay.
And then we get the 80s workout video that's playing in the background where people are just jumping back and forth.
Yeah, there's jumping back and forth. The 80s, like, that's the exercise video of the day, jumping back and forth.
So, the guy who works at the morgue and another girl, I guess a nurse or something, they're in the morgue watching the workout video. And like you mentioned, they're sitting in the dark for no reason. Absolutely no reason that it needs to be dark. It's a regular room.
Yeah, it's the mortuary room where they bring the dead bodies to freeze them. Why is the lights out? And why are they watching these videos with the lights out? And it's like they try to make out or something, and it was like
right in front of Jason. By the way,
right in front of Jason's like right there.
They're trying to make out. His arm falls, scares the girl. She says, "What am I doing?" And she leaves. Jason gets put in the box, but of course he gets out. He takes a saw, tries to cut the guy's head off. Twists his head around, and then he stabs the girl through the stomach. So, I guess he just escapes from the morgue here.
Yeah, I think they kind of just left, like you mentioned, like I asked, like how did the door just get open? I think like you said, the mortician just left the door ajar on accident.
Yeah, and I mean later on we find out that Jason has escaped the morgue and the people are missing. So I don't know how the hell he even got to keep his hockey mask. He makes his way back to the camp with 2 dead bodies, and no one notices this. So, yeah, that was kind of strange. But trust me, it happens. Yeah, it happens again many times. Stuff that makes just no sense. So, we meet Corey Feldman. He was 13 in this movie, maybe.
Yeah,
something
he's really
like that.
young, really young.
And he's playing a Commodore 64. I believe that's what it was. And then we meet the 6 teenagers of the movie. Crispin Glover, another guy. They're talking about his girl problems.
Yeah.
Really bizarre conversation.
I don't even know how they came up with this conversation.
I don't know, man. It was really out there, and they He calls Crispin Glover dead fuck, which is going to happen throughout this entire movie and just becomes extremely annoying, especially when Crispin Glover is the most likable character.
Yeah.
But then we see they drive by Pamela Voorhees' grave. They pass a hitchhiker. They don't pick her up. And then Jason just stabs her through the back of the neck.
Seen this before many times in every other Jason movie that we've seen.
Yeah. The 6 teenagers show up next door to Corey Feldman's house. I guess it's some kind of camp place, and they rent it.
We don't know. It doesn't explain. It's just like, this is just happening. And
Yeah.
we're just like, the viewers just got dropped into it.
See, Corey Feldman lives with his sister and his mom. But next door is like a place, I guess a summer home or something, where people just go to stay. And that's where the 6 teenagers go. So all this is taking place across the street. Later that night, Corey Feldman is watching a girl change across the street. He's acting like a damn animal.
He's acting like a damn animal.
I mean, it was weird. It was freaky the way he was acting.
Yeah, and the director's like, yeah, keep that up. It's like,
This
"You're
is
a
great
weirdo."
stuff, Corey. What the hell, man? So then the teenagers, they meet some twin girls, and they all decide to go skinny dipping. Of course, it's the 80s, and it's a slasher movie. So
Not all of these girls in this movie is just like totally braless. Wherever they're wearing, they're just like free. Like, I don't think, maybe Corey Feldman's mom was like the only one ever to wear a bra.
yeah. So, and we should mention the outfits. Just what you said about the jeans and the shorts.
Dude, if they're not wearing tight jeans, like tight jeans with the shirts tucked in, they're wearing shorts with the shirts tucked in. Or like long sleeves too. It's like their arms are cold, but their legs are fucking warm. Very warm from all that dancing.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, that's the next part. So Corey Feldman and his sister pick up another camper. Just some random guy in the woods. They decide to pick him up, and they take him home, and Corey's showing him his room. Just a stranger. And
the stranger already asked, like, are there any kids around? Like, which is weird.
Yeah, it was bizarre, but...
Like, are any kids around? Need to know. Tell me. It's like,
So
please.
she just lets him run off with her little brother who's like 13.
Yeah, just go up in his room.
So then we see the teenagers. They're dancing around. Crispin Glover does this crazy-ass dance. You need to YouTube this or Google it, whatever. Just Crispin Glover Friday the 13th dance. Because it is insane, and it is awesome.
Apparently it was insane on set. Because watching some special feature, they just couldn't believe it. Like, when they saw this, like, they didn't even get it recorded the first time he did this dance. It said.
Yeah, they said that everybody else couldn't do their parts because of how awesome he was.
Yeah.
So one girl leaves, and she goes to get into the lake. She's naked. She's waiting on her boyfriend or some guy. I don't know. With these romance relationships, it was really just ridiculous.
It's very hippie-esque because you don't know if anyone's in a relationship, if they're in a relationship, because they act like they're switching partners from on occasion. It's weird.
Yeah, it was strange. So she goes and gets naked in the lake. She swims out to a boat that's just floating there, and Jason jumps out of the water and stabs her through the bottom of the boat.
On the boat.
Now, I have a problem with this because...
Speak your mind.
He is just... Are we supposed to seriously believe he's in the water, underwater, this entire time, just hanging out, expecting someone to go get in this boat? It's just really hard to believe. Like, I told you that if Jason jumps out of the water here, it's just going to be ridiculous, and I'm going to have to say something about it.
He called it. And I kind of explained it like... I mentioned to you, like in the second movie, he was all weak, and he couldn't take anything. But this very next day, in the third movie, the very next day, he was just like hulked up. Okay,
Yeah.
He could take anything. Almost took a straight up axe to the face and lived. Okay, and by this movie, he has to be Super Saiyan 3. He has to be. So I think he could hold his breath long enough underwater.
But why in that particular spot of the entire lake?
He did. Well, he could take his time, dude. He's gonna be waiting while he's under there. It's like, damn, he's slow.
But so the other guy finally shows up. He swims out to the boat, which is still floating, even though it's been stabbed through the bottom with a knife. No matter what boat it is, that would sink a boat quickly.
That's a big WTF moment right there. Like, unbelievable. How could you not catch yourself doing something that stupid, director?
Yeah, and this is just like a quick blow up life raft.
That's all it was.
Yeah, I mean, one stab and that thing would be gone.
Yes.
So he swims out, he finds her body, and he freaks out, he starts to swim back, and he gets a harpoon gun to the balls.
Very creative. I mean, we've seen harpoon gun kill, but not to the balls.
Yeah.
Kudos.
So then we cut back to that weird camper guy who's in a tent out in the woods. He hears something, but when he goes to check on it and come back, he finds his gun is now broken. So yeah, like you said, Jason is much, much stronger now.
Yeah, he's just sneaky too. He's just will come in, break that, and then leave. He's like, I got you.
I mean, he does have intelligence because he cuts phone lines.
Yeah.
And he cuts power to the houses, so he knows what he's doing. One of the twins leaves the house and she gets stabbed in the back. We couldn't figure out what the hell this was, a spear, a pitchfork, we couldn't tell.
No.
But she just gets stabbed in the back with something.
It showed like the shadow of it happening first. So it was just like a death scene that you don't even get to see, really.
Yeah. Corey Feldman's mom comes home and the power's off. She can't find Corey or her daughter, so she leaves the house again and she's looking for them. She turns around and sees something and screams, and that's it.
See, the very next scene is you see them driving, like Corey Feldman and the sister of his, and like they're driving in the car. Now, if
they drive home. They come back to the house.
Now, if the mother gets home, would she see there's no car in the driveway? So wouldn't she realize why is she like asking where they're at?
Yeah, just another thing that the director overlooked that was really simple. And it's not that the movie was really bad, but these small things like this
added up.
Yeah, it adds up, and it just keeps happening. Small things he didn't think about.
Yeah.
And trust me, there's some other stupid stuff coming.
As much money as it's already made, they could put a little bit more time into the script by now.
Exactly. So Corey and his sister come home. They can't find their mom, who, by the way, we never find out what happens to.
Never get to see her again in the movie.
No.
Unless you saw the special feature ending or something.
Yeah, the alternate ending, there was like a scene that showed her in the bathtub. However, that was a dream sequence.
Yes,
so
that was also only a dream sequence.
So we really have no idea what the hell happened to the mom. But
she disappears and you don't see her ever again.
Yeah. So the girl, she leaves to go look for the camper guy. Or I don't know, I guess she just left to look for the mom and left Corey at the house to fix the lights. Because that's what she told him. So she leaves, and while she's out in the woods, she sees a tent, which belongs to the camper guy she met before. However, I don't know if she knew that, and she just sits in his tent.
Sits in his tent. Don't say a word, just sits in the corner of the tent.
We are left to imagine what the hell she's thinking. I personally thought it's raining, maybe she wanted to get out of the rain for a minute. But still, you're just going to sit in a stranger's tent? What the hell is this? And then the camper comes. We're supposed to think it's Jason because he's got a machete, but it's him. He just cuts the tent and says, "What are you doing here?" It's just really bad script right here.
Really bad. I mean, first I couldn't even find an explanation for it for myself. It was just too bad. There was no explanation good enough that it could explain it.
Yeah. It was, it's just not one of the better scenes. And then Crispin Glover, sadly, he's in the kitchen. He gets a corkscrew to the hand, and then he gets a knife to the face. I have to say this was pretty cool.
Yeah.
At least with the makeup and everything. This was one of the better deaths. Before this, it was just like people with like a little thing stabbing through their throat.
Nothing you haven't seen before in the last like 3 other movies.
Many times. So yeah, he dies. Then another girl is upstairs on the 2nd floor, and Jason does the old surprise bitch maneuver where he jumps through the window, grabs her and tosses her, and she hits the car and the windows explode.
All of them at the same time.
All of them. This was awesome.
Dude, I really liked what you said. It's like the bitch surprise. Like, that was a good moment for Jason.
That was really cool, but we also had to bring up the fact, how did he know she would be at that window?
Dude.
It's like, oh my god.
It's like you said before, he was just waiting there, dude. Like, he's just waiting underwater for her. He knew she was coming. He's just going to wait by this window. He's like, I'm going to surprise this bitch. Bitch. Surprise.
But that was awesome. Then the camper is explaining to Corey's sister how Jason escaped the morgue. The bodies are missing.
It killed his sister, but doesn't explain who his sister is. I guess he's just one of the random girls he could have killed in the past year.
Yeah.
And year in a couple of days.
It reminded me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, where the guy goes looking for his brother who was killed by the family.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like that. So then we cut back to the teenagers. Ted gets stabbed in the back of the neck. Finally, he dies.
God, thank you.
Then Jason goes upstairs, and this other guy's taking a shower. He reaches through, crushes his face. The last girl goes into the shower. They were gonna have sex or something. She sees his dead body. She freaks out and runs, and then she gets killed with an axe. So that's it. All the teenagers are gone at this point, including the twins.
Benito finished.
The camper and the sister try to call the police, but the phones are dead back at the house. They leave to go next door, and they tell Corey to hold down the fort.
By himself. They even take the dog.
Yeah, they even take the damn dog. They leave this kid here, and the camper knows Jason's out there. He knows he just escaped from the morgue not 3 hours ago, probably. And
it gets even better. The lines are cut in this house, so there's no way for him to... No lights, no way for the kid to call. He's like 13 with no dog, no way. And they just leave him. They're like, all the adults take the dog.
Yeah, it was bad. So they go next door. The dog gets so scared, it starts whimpering. It gets so scared, it jumps out the window of like the second floor.
Dude, I have a question. Like, my question is like, what happened?
Who thought this was a good idea?
Who? What? Yeah.
Gordon. That was its name. The dog's
Gordon.
name.
Gordon the dog just jumps out of this window. I swear to God, it looks like the dog's jumping out of a real Play-Doh window. I'm not lying, dude.
But why? Why do that? Why have a dog, I guess, get so scared it jumps out a window? That's the only explanation. It didn't look like it was thrown by Jason.
No.
So it looked like it just did it on its own.
Did it on its own. But why? Could have just ran down the steps. But it jumps out a second-story window. Man, they had over $2 million. They had to use that budget. Break a window. They had to break another window.
Spend that money. But yeah, this was just a really stupid scene.
There's another stupid scene that's coming up. Involves this whole "where do I go?" fiasco.
So the girl goes up there. She sees the shower. She sees all the blood. She turns and she sees the guy Jason killed hung up on the wall. Jason just starts moving bodies around to weird locations for no reason.
This is where Jason actually starts, just like after he kills them, he starts manipulating the bodies.
Yeah, like, well, I'll get to that in a minute. But Jason starts fighting with the camper guy. We don't really know what's happening because it's really dark, but he's telling the girl to run, and Jason's beating him with, I assume, a wrench or something, a hammer maybe. And he's just beating this guy, but we really can't tell what the hell's going on.
It's a dark, just basement. Mm-hmm. Already a dark basement and no lights there. So, thanks for showing us nothing in the scene, buddy. Director, thanks.
So he tells the girl to leave. She does, but then she hesitates, and then she runs right back downstairs.
She goes back downstairs? Are you serious?
Yeah,
yes.
So that was a bad idea. Eventually, Jason wakes up, of course. He starts chasing her, and she jumps out of a window here. She's running through the house. She's trying to find a way out. She runs into the kitchen. Crispin Glover is now hanging over the door for some reason.
Over the doorway, so he got his body manipulated by Jason.
She opens the front door first, and there's a dead girl laying there, one of the twins. So she shuts the door and then busts a window and jumps out this freaking window.
She jumps out the window when she could have just stepped over this girl.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that way wasn't blocked. You just broke a window. There's like... It's okay. There's $1 million of the budget. Broken windows.
So she goes home to Corey Feldman. They try to board up the door. Of course, Jason does the gimmick where he tosses a body through the window. They run up to Corey Feldman's room. They barricade themselves in. Jason takes an axe, breaks the door down, and she drops a TV on his head. So they're trying to slowly sneak around him. Jason wakes up, and he looks at them both and chooses to go after the girl. This was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because he had to pick a victim. I personally think he should have gone after Corey because it would have made him a bigger bad guy. At this point in the series, the movies are starting to, get really popular and people are starting to like Jason. So they should have had him done some more like mean bad guy type of shit here, but instead he chases after the girl. He just chases her around and she jumps out another window.
I just like the moment where he had to choose. Like,
Yeah.
this is a good moment where you first see Jason have to think about what he's going to do next.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that. Yeah, he looks at them both and then chases after her.
But yeah, she jumps out the window. She just jumps out this window.
Yeah, she jumps out another window. And then
Second story.
Yeah, she heads back to the house. And then we see Corey Feldman, who's been reading newspaper clippings that the camper guy had.
Stole it out of his bag. Stole this shit. This Corey Feldman is just like a thief.
Yeah.
He's just going to open his friend's, like, doesn't know this pedophile dude's bag. Just open his bag. He's going to start taking it, reading his stuff. And then, like, tapes him on, like, the mirror. What an asshole kid.
So, the girl gets back to the house. She has a fight with Jason, and then Corey Feldman comes downstairs, and he has shaved his head, except for a few patches of hair, to look like a young child version of Jason.
Yeah.
He actually comes out looking more like Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. He looks exactly like a 13-year-old Billy Corgan with a shaved head.
And collar popped.
Yeah, collar popped. His collar is popped.
Dude, it is. But yeah, dude, Billy Corgan. It's really funny if you notice that.
Yeah, it was. But anyways, they start fighting with him. The girl knocks Jason's mask off. He is even more grotesque now than he has ever been before. Really good makeup here. I liked it. They start to fight, and Corey Feldman stabs him in the head with the machete.
Best gore scene of the film.
Yeah, Jason falls onto the machete and it slowly slides up his head. Really cool looking.
In his head that starts sliding up. It is awesome.
And as Corey Feldman and his sister like hugging each other, Jason's hand starts to twitch. So Corey takes the machete and just snaps and starts beating him to death with it.
Yeah.
And then the last scene we see is the sister's in the hospital. She asks to see her brother, and he comes in. He's still got the freakish hair. Nobody bothered to fix this poor kid's hair.
No, he didn't want to shave it himself, and no one shaved it for him. He's like, kid. It's like, no one notices this? It's like, okay, it's over. You can... Oh, wait, we forgot to mention that he actually shaved his head in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, he shaved it really quickly.
Like, he had a big head of hair, and in the middle of his sister fighting, jumping out of a window, coming back inside, he was able to shave his fucking head down to, like, with a razor.
With a straight razor, just straight up, regular shaving razor.
Baby butt smooth.
Yeah, just completely smooth.
I mean, it's like 2 minutes.
It was so bad. But the final scene is the sister in the hospital. She asks to see her brother. He comes in. They hug each other, and then Corey Feldman has this weird smile on his face, implying that he's like now screwed up in the head.
I don't know what they were implying with that stupid evil eye they asked Corey Feldman to give the camera. Just give me a WTF look.
Yeah, like a weird smile.
WTF look.
But it was really just, I guess, to make us think he's possessed or something like that. However, I believe the next movie, Part 5, is going to be the one with a Jason impersonator. So, technically, I guess they were trying to set that up here. I'm not even sure, but I think 5 is the one with the impersonator.
Now, if we think it is, and I said, if it was, like, whatever movie that is, I put my vote down to just say, like, we skip it. Since it's not even a Jason movie to begin with, which was immediately struck down. So,
yeah, we're definitely going to do Part 5.
I mean, it's definitely coming, but I'm just going to throw that out there. I didn't want to do it. It's not even a Jason movie, but yeah, it was immediately struck down that idea.
I think it's going to be interesting. I haven't seen these movies in years, so I can't remember, but it could end up being really good.
Yeah, it could.
So yeah, we'll definitely be back next week to do Part 5, but overall, I have to say this movie I thought it was decent. It just had a lot of problems with the script, and it really killed a lot of it. And stupid stuff like the dog jumping through a window, and the boat staying afloat out in the lake after being stabbed, the mom vanishing with no explanation.
The constant bad jokes. Over half the movie was just the storyline of these kids.
Yeah.
And it's just like no one cares about that. With like just a couple of parts in between of just like a quick Jason stabbing someone through a neck or, harpoon or something. It's just real. It was just no one cares about that.
Yeah, and Billy Corgan shaving his head in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Seriously.
Yeah, so I guess that's it, guys. That's a review of Part 4, the final chapter. and leave your thoughts on this movie in the comments below. So that's it, guys. We'll be back next week with part 5. And
I would like to show everybody a quick glimpse, if you could, for us. You did it so well earlier. Could you show a little bit of that Crispin Glover dance move? I mean, you guys have to check this out. Come on.
No, I can't do it.
A little bit.
Maybe if I had some more space and I could stand up, but I would just look like an idiot doing it right here. So, yes, but if you want to see it, definitely Google that dance on YouTube because it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, alright guys, we'll be back next Wednesday with part 5. So, thanks for watching.